The idea of coming back and forth, that was kind of how we developed the curve shape.
The entire structure is sort of this fight between falling forwards and then falling backwards.
And the scale of it is impressive. It almost looks like it is made of more than what it is.
The project brief was to use a set of materials to create a structure of some form that embodied the theme reciprocal. We were literally just given a word. That was kind of part of the challenge, I think, to kind of interpret it.
On day one, we were put into random groups of 5, sat down at a table, never met each other before. We were kind of briefed on the project and we started making models. It was kind of erratic and random.
I think we had like 30 different models that we had made all together. Each one taught us one thing about a certain way to use a material, a certain way to glue things together, a certain pattern.
The solution we ended up with was 2 alternating rings. So on the inside of this curve was the materials that could take compression. So that was the timber and the OSB, and then on the outside it was the materials like the canvas and the rope, which could take the tension.
The first 3 weeks of the project were about the miniature scale. We then had an interim crit. We were told to make that 1-to-1 scale and bring it to life.
Because we actually had to build it, it was a lot more hands-on, a lot more practical, so we get to understand the materials.
The construction part of the project was definitely a great idea, because I'd never done anything like that before. When you finally made your structure stand up, it was really rewarding.
Yeah, I think it was 6 o'clock at night or something when we finally put everything together. I remember at the top bit we just had like hundreds of screws bolted in to make sure it was fixed. And then that moment where 3 of us picked it up and then tilted it and then it stood up.
To have it realised that you can see it and walk around it and under it, it was a really satisfying part of the project.
It's definitely a learning curve. You get pushed in at the deep end and you learn as you go, and that's why it's so useful.
The idea that it flows and then it comes together at one point, and in a way, sort of a metaphor for how we worked as a group.
It was really good fun. When you've got a shared experience with people you don't know, it kind of builds relationships quite quickly, so I think it was a great first project.